Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Today I am joined by Vanessa Vance, who is one of the facilitators at the Bliss Festival 2015 that's taking place in Narrowwater Castle in County Down from August 7th to 10th. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi.
Thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
So before we kind of, excuse me, before we get going on what it is that you're bringing to the festival, why don't you tell the people who are watching a little bit about you and your background and what sort of work you do?
Sure. So primarily my work is around sort of deep transformational coaching in the realm of sexuality and intimacy. And
Mm.
sexuality and intimacy sort of is a very broad subject actually. And even though I could say that I'm a life coach, it's seeing the sexuality and intimacy as like sort of like the cornerstone of what is in your life. You know, when you're at the heart of your life, that's sort of this essence of our eros and our life force energy really revolves around our sense of our relationship with our sexuality and intimacy. So I've really made that my focus because I'm really attracted to that idea. Things that I bring into my work, I'm a certified sexological body worker, so I bring in elements of that modality. And also with my experience in Tantra and with shamanic rites and rituals, I bring that into my work when it feels like it's coming up for the person. If that person's journey is going down that realm, then that's where we'll take it to. So it's sort of bringing an eclectic mix of all these sorts of pieces in, and also, you know, bringing in a lot of psychological and intuitive practices as well. So the sort of the very
Mm.
formal elements of psychological maps and tools and those types of things, but then there's also the intuitive thing of just following where someone's going, and we go down that path. So supporting people in whatever's showing up for them really, and seeing where that goes.
Mm. And so you offer one-to-one sessions and group work, mostly in Perth, but also in other parts of Australia as well.
Yeah, so yeah, when the calling
Mm.
comes, then there's going to other places. But primarily I just work in my practice here and in the middle of the forest in Perth, Western Australia. And yeah, it's a great little sacred space for people to come and explore and dive into their worlds. So
Mm. And so you're coming to your third Bliss Festival this year. Why is it that you keep coming back? What is it that you like so much about the Bliss Festival in Ireland?
um, I feel that there's an underlying draw for me to be in Ireland. That's where my heritage sort of comes from.
Mm.
And Bliss is just it's there, it's happening, it's new, it's got all these little factors of just like, yeah, I'm really drawn to what is the core essence of what Bliss is offering in Ireland, and it's a great place to sort of really connect in with people who are interested in these realms. I've got a desire to work more with people in Ireland, and bring my work there. Um, and so yeah, this is a way to really sort of connect in with those people and share a bit of myself and meet other people, and so yeah, if people are at Bliss and they want to come and talk to me, please, they're more than welcome to have a chat and have a discussion, and maybe there's something that can come from that.
Mm. So what are you bringing to the festival, particularly this year?
Okay, quite a range of things actually. It's quite
Mm.
diverse. I feel like you know, my work and my life is sort of I have two main elements. I'm really focused on the part of me that loves to sort of be out there on the edge in changing society and changing old ideas and old paradigms, and sort of being a bit of an activist for things. And so there is that part of me that loves to sort of challenge those places and educate. That's where my education side of my being really comes forward, in teaching people about sexuality. And so yeah, really love to work in that realm. And then there's also the part of me that really loves to dive into the intra-psychic, the deeper shamanic layers of people's beings and where they need to transform from the inside out. And so my work sort of traverses those spectrums, and I feel like what I'm kind of bringing is a bit of those pieces to Bliss. So the sort of the outside part of me, you know, the one that's going for the activism, is going to be doing a talk on sort of running off the back of the Free the Nipple campaign that people might be familiar with throughout the world, where it's sort of challenging these ideas that women's nipples can't be put into media and can't be exposed out in public, and there's this dual standard between a male body nipples and a female body nipple, and what, you know, why do we keep holding on to this idea that somehow one's okay and one's not okay? So it's so my talk is sort of taking on from that, but then there's more in that. It's not just about, okay, let's just all get our nipples out and be free. It's actually about this idea of owning your eroticism. What does that mean for your eroticism when we actually take responsibility for our eroticism? And, you know, breasts have been sort of over-sexualized in a sense. They've been, you know, objectified. We treat women's breasts, and this is the reason for the censorship in a lot of ways, is this over-sexualization, this objectification, rather than seeing them as also, you know, food for babies, a normal part of a woman's body. It's just like her elbow or her toe, you know, and so we lose sort of like those pieces when we put all the weight into this one box of what we think breasts are about. And so when we really own our eroticism, you know, we're using breasts as an example of how we stop projecting our own fantasies, or we use the outside as a way of always being the source for our own eroticism, rather turning that inwards and actually owning our fantasies, owning our desires, owning that. And when we come to that, we stop making other people responsible for that. So I mean, I can't explain everything, obviously. Come to the workshop and you'll find out exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes,
I'll stop talking now. But that's kind of the idea.
Yeah, perfect. And so I think one of the things that you said that describes the workshop is where you're inviting people to attend the workshop bare-breasted, both males and females.
Absolutely. And also that's dependent on weather. Look, if it's really, really, really cold, then that's okay that we're not going to get our nipples out. But there might be a component to actually, to sit there and be in witness and be free to be the person that you are, regardless of the shape or size or, you know, whatever genetic chromosomes you may have in your body, whatever your chest actually looks like or feels like for you, we can all be equals in that.
Sure. And of course, it's just like everything at the festival, that's not compulsory, it's not mandatory. It's the individual's choice as to whether they do that or not. And so on the Friday night, excuse me, you're also offering a ritual. We're offering a ritual together. So do you want to say a little bit about that?
Sure. So Beth and I are within our little, I don't know what you call. What do you call tourists, Fiona? It's a vehicle, a joining of us, where we're offering these deep kind of journeys for people. And so we've decided to sort of bring in a ritual on the Friday night, which is a sex magic ritual. And we're going to be facilitating that in a way that people can then connect in with their own self-pleasure, and connecting in with the land, connecting in with the festival energy. And really it's about sort of raising that energy together as a group, even though we're having our own sort of private pleasure experience. Is there anything else you want to add to that piece, just to sort of talk about it?
I guess weather dependent as well, that ritual will take place outside ideally, and that we'll go out into the forest on the land in the castle to hold that ritual very late on the Friday evening, and it will be a great way, I think, for people who are somewhat familiar maybe with magic or ritual to take that into a sexual realm, or people who are familiar with public experiences of sex to take that into a ritual realm. So I think it would be an interesting ritual for people who have some sort of experience in one of those pieces, maybe bringing it together. It's not a ritual that can be observed, so people either participate or they don't attend. It's participants only.
So we're creating a
So,
very safe
and then the other,
there.
exactly. So one of the other pieces that you're bringing to the festival is that you're one of the panelists on the new relationship paradigm panel discussion. So can you just say literally a couple of things about what it is that you'll share on that?
Sure. So the new relationship paradigms, I'm sort of coming from the place of consciously relating with people. This idea that we're kind of in relationship with everybody, relate to everybody. There's a relating that happens to everybody. And what we do is we choose what is the authentic expression between the beings, what is actually happening, what is moving between the two beings. And it might be friendship, or it might be a brotherhood, or it might be a sexual connection, or it might be something else. But to give ourselves permission to be free in our authentic connections is sort of my idea of the new paradigm. As opposed to the old paradigm, which says these are the rules for what it means to be in relationship and out of relationship, and you have to be all this in this one and all that and that, and making one person responsible for like all your little boxes is kind of unrealistic in a lot of ways. So human relatings are so diverse. We've got to make space for all the diversity that we have, and to accept that and not have shame about having some of your boxes ticked by other people, and that's okay.
Yeah, great. I think there's 4 people going to be speaking on that panel, and you and I are 2 of those 4 people. And really, the idea is just to offer some alternatives to what's generally presented and promoted in mainstream society, which is heterosexual, monogamous, long-term relationship. And what we want to do is we just want to offer people examples and open doors to where there are other possibilities and other options, not necessarily saying that any of those is right or correct, but just saying there are different ways to be and do in relationship with each other. And so just before we wrap up, is there anything else you're doing while you're in Ireland? She says, asking as if she doesn't know, that you want to share with the people who are watching the video.
Absolutely. So Beth and I, a part of our TOSV thing is that we're doing a workshop a couple of weeks after Bliss called Maeve. And that's a transformational journey of embodying your wildness. And this is for women. Sorry, I just have to clarify that. For the women to embody their wildness in the distilled essence of the Maeve archetype. So Maeve, as we know, is a queen or a goddess, or however you want to view her, taking those sort of elements of her and really sort of walking into those spaces. So the idea of sovereignty and the idea of claiming yourself and your sexuality and your choices and finding that fire within and your passion. And so, yeah, the Maeve is really going to traverse all of those pieces, and we're really inviting women who feel drawn to wanting to draw themselves to that energy and find that within themselves, but also on a learning edge and a place of self-discovery about who they are and what they want more in life. So if you're a woman that's really looking for just that little bit more edge of how can I be more in my passion, more in my sexuality, more in my sovereignty, and know my boundaries and own my yeses and my nos and feel that sort of essence, then we invite you to come and join us for an amazing weekend of deep exploration and journeying in a community of women.
Awesome. And I'll post a link below in the description of this video to how women can find out more about Maeve and how people can find out more about you before you come to the festival, and also more about the festival itself. So thank you so much for your time, and I really look forward always, of course, to welcoming you back to Ireland and sharing in the experience of the festival with you.
I look forward to it
Is there
too.
anything else? Great. So just to finish, if you feel anything you've heard in this video, anything you've felt move in you that you'd like to join us at the festival, then you're really very welcome to join us. There are tickets left available in the link in the description below. And we very much look forward to welcoming you to this amazing event, August 7th to 10th, Narrow Water Castle, County Down. Thanks for watching.